Hey, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the AWM NFL Podcast. My name is Riccardo Stewart. I have the privilege of being your host, and I'm joined with my friends, my coworkers, my partners in crime, Sam Acho, Jeff Locke, and Zach Miller. Between the three of you guys, we got all sorts of experience financially and then as NFL players. And it's one of my favorite things to do is to be able to ask you guys questions. And one of the things that overlaps as NFL players and former players is you're a part of a team. And we all have experiences where we've been part of good teams, we've been part of bad teams, but we know the importance of a team. And that's what I want to talk about today. When it comes to building your, let's say, financial structure, like how important is it to have a team as opposed to a guy, right? You think about it. So we all know what it's like to be like on a youth team. Like you start youth football. Zach, you coach flag football. How many coaches do you have with you?
Flag football, there's just me out there. And so I've had a defensive help before, but it's just me.
It's just that. So you start off with kids, they're 8, 9, 10, whatever. You got one coach. Then you get into tackle football and maybe you get 4 or 5 coaches. Then you get into high school varsity football. Now you got a position coach. You got somebody who's a coordinator on offense, defense, special teams. And then we all know you go to college, you got GAs, you got analysts, you got all sorts of different people, and then on and on. Because the higher level you go, the more complexity it is. And I think it's the same thing when it comes to your money. Like you've heard me say this before, because we all quote Notorious B.I.G., more money, more problems. And then what we say, it's not necessarily more money, more problems. It's the more money you have, more complexity. And when you have that sort of complexity, it necessitates clarity. And so when you're making 40, 50, 60, $100 million, it comes so much complexity that when you say from a financial standpoint, I got a guy, gosh, is that really enough? And so I want to be able to talk about that today. And so I'm going to start first with you, Jeff. And the question I have for you is, what are some of the complexities that come with wealth that it takes a team to be able to address as it relates to the NFL athlete?
Yeah, before I get into detail on the complexity, it's just like one person can't do it all. First, they can't be an expert in everything. There's so much to handle that your money touches. You can't be an expert in it all. Anyone that tells you that they are is probably full of it, right? And also, one person isn't able to execute everything. They literally just don't have the amount of time in the day to do all the things you need done for them, right? So things that come to mind on the tax side, right? You are not a regular person when it comes to taxes, point blank. You can't walk into H&R Block and bring your tax docs and have them actually do it correctly for you. We've seen it. It's never done correctly, right? You need an athlete-specific tax person. Investing. Most people that invest are 50, 60 years old, finally coming into the money they've been trying to earn their entire life. You are completely different. Your investment strategy should be completely different from a 50 or 60-year-old, right? And the one thing no one wants to talk about is insurance. We see this messed up all the time, right? You are riskier than the average person, point blank. You need different types of insurance. You need experts to help you put that insurance in place. One single person can't do it all.
Well, Zach, let's go back to 2007. If I believe that was the year you got drafted. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Let's go back to 2007. And you're coming out, you're choosing an agent, you're doing the things. Okay, did you choose a guy or did you choose a team, and why?
So mainly I chose a guy. I guess I ended up with a team because eventually it's, I need this guy to do my taxes, and then I got to get insurance, so then I have a guy there. But that was not a team because they weren't together. They weren't coordinated. They didn't talk to each other. It definitely made everything more complicated and more complex for myself than it needed to be. There's a different point of contact at each different place I worked with. And so it just wasn't efficient. And I didn't even know there existed places where I could have everything in one place and essentially have a team that's all coordinated and all working to get the things done that I wanted done so I could focus on football. It was, investing world. I didn't realize that, financial advisors, they're not all the same. They all are kind of a different, where they work at matters to how they serve you. And so if there's, one thing you take away is not every place you work with is the same, whether that's their expertise, have they done it before? Do they even understand what it's like to be in the NFL world? That's one of the biggest things I can recommend is you got to go with people that know your situation. NFL is so specific that if you get anyone that just works with the masses, whether that's financial advice or tax advice, you're doing yourself a disservice, because they need to specialize. It's that team, it's that specialization. The further you go in football, the more advanced you get as a tight end. The more further I went in football, the more expertise, the more technique, all those things matter. It's the same thing in the financial world. As you go further and deeper into wealth, you need experts that know exactly your situation and can advise you on that.
It's good. Acho, okay? Everybody's like, I got a guy, my guy, all right? So as somebody who's gone from having a guy, actually a gal, and then switched to having a team, what were some of the short-term and then long-term benefits that you see between the two?
Yeah, the biggest benefit is just understanding that I have a lot of needs, and you as an athlete, you as one of the top paid players, not only at your position or in the league, but also like in the world, you need more than just a person. When I first came out, I had a guy at UBS, and he was a guy who was like, yeah, man, I got these investments and those investments. But he had no idea about the things that also mattered, i.e. taxes, i.e. my NFL benefits. He had no idea about some of those things. So he was a little bit frustrated when I was like, hey, man, I have these questions. He didn't have those answers. Then I switched to another person, which was an individual, but wasn't a team. And though that person, I had a great relationship, one thing I've learned is that now having a team, all of a sudden, questions that I had, they're getting answered because there's a multitude of experts on our team, on a team. So for example, the team at the Athlete Family Office at AWM has 4 different CPAs from the 4 big accounting firms, people who can do taxes, not just filing them, but also do tax planning. And oh, by the way, to Zach's point, they're on the exact same team as a team that's doing the investments. Riccardo talks about these analysts you just get to higher levels. Well, it's the same thing in the investment world. There are analysts, chartered financial analysts that spend their whole time studying what an opponent is going to do or what the market is going to do. So you, in your specific category, when it comes to your wealth, can gain as much as possible, save as much as possible, and pass that down to as many generations as possible. One person cannot do that, not only because of the time, but also because of the skill and the expertise. It's almost like saying, okay, my head coach is also going to be the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. He's also going to be the general manager, also going to handle the salary cap. Also, it's like, no, you have to have experts. And so for me, one thing that I've learned in having a team is that now all of a sudden when I have questions, it's not the runaround. It's not this feeling of like, oh, wait, you don't want me to ask it? I'm getting answers because there are experts on my team.
Yeah, we come across athletes like this, NFL players, all the time, where they get to their second contract, they're making 50, 60, 80, 100 plus million, and they come to us because they're realizing that they've been with a guy and they're going, there's some things that are possibly missing. Jet, in your experience, as you've seen guys, our athletes leave a guy to come to a team, what are some of the more common things that they're missing?
And the biggest thing I'm going to hit on is the tax side, right? You just don't get the tax expertise when you're just with a guy that kind of says, hey, I got a CPA that I use, we'll deal with the CPA around like February, March, and then we're all good to go. Right, when you sign a big deal, your tax team should be revving up, ready to go. They should be in contact with your new team immediately, and they should be thinking, how do I help you pay the least amount in taxes up front, delay paying your taxes for as long as possible so you can invest that money instead. It's called safe harbor strategy. We see it missed all of the time with guys that sign new big deals. It's not that people are lazy, it's just they don't have that expertise, right? I see it happen all the time. Insurance, we talked about, you're way more risky as a human being when you sign a $50, $60 million deal. Your name is all over every single headline out there, right? We got to make sure you and your family are completely protected on that side. We also see, like, how do I give to my family? How do I give to charity? How do I give back to my community now that I have more money than I can use in my entire lifetime? How do I set the next generation? There are strategies to do this that need to happen in that first year when you sign your contract if you want to take full advantage and pay the least amount in tax over your whole lifetime when doing it. Just a couple of them. I could talk for days on this, what you should be doing when you sign that new big deal.
Zach, I started with you. I'm going to finish with you because we said, okay, when you were going into the draft, 2007, well, let's fast forward to get to your second contract where you're about to make, and you're about to make life-changing that given you the possibility to have multi-generational wealth. Was the thought of having a team even in your mind, and why or why not?
I mean, we explored it. I explored it with Goldman Sachs, but the problem is they had a $10 million minimum, and you're still just getting the investment advice, no tax advice. So there were not family offices, and the family offices that are the best of the best, they don't work with athletes. They might dabble in athletes, but they don't specialize in athletes, and they don't work with them specifically. So really it wouldn't have helped because there just was not as much good advice for athletes as there is now. I can say that unequivocally.
That's good. Well, if there's anything that you've heard, you're going, wait a minute, I got a guy. Did you just tell me that's wrong? No, we didn't say that that's wrong. We're just saying it may not be what's best. And so if you want to know what's best, or if you have any questions or any thoughts, please reach out to us. You can send us a text. We'd love to send you some resources. That number is 602-989-5022.